Good day, my friends. Welcome to Newport Richey, Florida. Daze with Jordan the Lion. It begins right now. Just a random giant dinosaur here at this intersection. Now this is my first time in Newport Richey, and I just kind of want to take a look around. There are a few things that I've read about online that are worth checking out. Some really interesting murals downtown. And I think we'll just have a fun day exploring. Hopefully not see any of these guys today. I do love they have this worried man over here in the mural. Oh no! Don't worry, guy. He's only here to smoke cigars, see? He's not here to hurt anybody. He's on vacation. Look at the cool old architecture here. Now take a look at this. It says it's called Dining and Dancing at the Hacienda Hotel in the 20s. You see, there's a whole film history that happened here in Newport Richey. So you'll see some of the people that we're gonna see in this mural. Greta Garbo. We're gonna actually see today, hopefully, if everything works out right, we're gonna see Norma Desmond's house, Miss Gloria Swanson. Look, you see Babe Ruth's on there. So I didn't recognize a handful of the names that were up here on the mural. But I think we'll spot the two most famous ones they mentioned. It is a great mural though, isn't it? The boom of the 20s. You see right up here we have Babe Ruth right there, Greta Garbo right there. That thing is just absolutely spectacular. Let's go over and see if we can find Gloria Swanson's house. It should be easy to find because they have a parking lot dedicated to her over there. See over there in that window, it says, "Some people dream of success, others make it happen." Oh, sorry, I got sidetracked again. Look at this beautiful mural depicting the old Newport Richey. There's a serviceman, his wife. See an airplane flying overhead. You can see a golfer. And over here is the city market. This is great. Over here by the mailbox, a little candy striper girl, or is that a dancer? Very cool. So if you come over to where Sims Park is, you'll see this beautiful old building out here. And there is the Gloria Swanson parking lot right there. Gloria Swanson, an actress of the silent screen, was one of the colorful residents of Newport Richey during the boom era of the 20s. The home she lived in is seen on the banks of the Coatee River. Man, how beautiful is that place? I'm so bummed. I did not know that there was a festival out here today, and it's actually a dog festival. Could have brought Ja. Problem is, so many places in Florida that I want to bring Ja to, they always have signs saying no dogs because of like alligators and other stuff, and this was right on the water, so I assumed this would be the same case. Oh, here, a bunch of dog scarves. Ja's not real big on the scarves. They have a cool band shell here in the park. And also, a historical museum right over here we're gonna check out, but they're also, since it's strawberry festival time, they have strawberries here, so let's get some strawberry shortcake. Here it is. Here's the beautiful looking strawberry shortcake. I feel so bad I didn't bring John out. I had no idea. There's a few dogs here, not a ton, but a few. So right on the other side of the festival is the river that we saw that Gloria Swanson lived right across from. Look at all the sandhill cranes over here. bunch of them over there. Oh look, they're having a race. Boat versus paddleboard. Let's give this a try. Those strawberries are fantastic. You guys probably think I'm gonna give in and give you some. You have to take it from my cold dead hand. So good. Alright, I couldn't see her house right from where we're at here. So I'm gonna go in the Historical Society, ask some questions, see which way up the river it is. I know what it looks like, I just couldn't see it from where we were. Wow, that was really interesting going in there and talking to them. I'm really glad that I did, because they were telling me there's so much of this town that's still kind of shrouded in mystery. One of the things they were telling me was that Johnny Cash and June Carter had a house here, and it was actually something they inherited from, I believe, June's grandmother, and that there was always a rumor that Shirley Temple had a house here, but they said they were never really able to confirm it. They did know that she had an aunt that lived here, and that Shirley would have come and visited her when she was little, but they said so much of it is shrouded in mystery, along with the Gloria Swanson story. So I'm gonna walk over to where they told me the house was, and I'll tell you what they told me about that. So now that they've told me a little bit of information, it does make sense to tell you about Sims Park, or at least who George Sims was. So Sims Park, originally named Enchantment Park, was renamed December 16th, 1924 to honor George Sims, early developer of Newport Richey and donor of the park and clubhouse. His wife Marjorie was the first Chasco Fiesta Queen. The Civic Club, organized in 1916, has occupied the clubhouse since 1924. The bandstand that we already saw, built in 1925, has been the site of much entertainment and politicking. The two-room Seven Springs Schoolhouse, moved in 1981 and renovated by the West Pasco Historical Society, houses a museum. That's where I went. And the Hacienda Hotel, a boom time establishment frequented by movie stars and celebrities in the early days, adjoins the park. So that's what that pink building would have been, was the hotel. So now we can walk along the water, and I'll tell you, so George Sims, the way this all kind of came about was that George Sims used to frequent Great Neck, New York, and that was a big movie colony up there. It's like the biggest movie colony of the North at the time, and he became friends with a lot of the actors and people working on the productions there. So he tried to convince those people to turn Newport Richey into the movie colony of the South. And so he would get friends of his like Thomas Meighan, the idol of the silent screen Ed Wynn, celebrated comedian Raymond Hitchcock, and his wife and Gloria Swanson to come out and check out this area and purchase land. So now you can kind of understand what brought everyone out here. In addition to all those names that I already mentioned, inside the museum they told me that they had actually found a check written out by Irving Berlin for property here. So he also was purchasing property in the area. So we're gonna continue up the river until I can find the house that was identified as the Gloria Swanson house. All right, now if you look over here, first off you see, looks like Jaws to be living in those people's yard over here. But right directly beside that is, this is the house that they claim was Gloria Swanson's house. Now the reason I say that they claim it is because when I was inside asking questions, they were telling me so many like myths and different things have surrounded this area, and they said one of which being, they said they do know that Gloria Swanson was here visiting because she was a friend of Thomas Meighan, but they said they don't have any record of her living in this house or owning the house. They said that they used to have a guy who used to give tours up and down this river, and he would just make up stories, is what they told me. And so they said that's why they don't specifically tell people anything that they don't know for sure. So when people say, where's the Gloria Swanson house, they're apprehensive to really tell them because they're not real sure that it actually ever was her house. They are sure though that the Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash houses was theirs. But yeah, what a crazy story. People have been telling other people for decades that this was Gloria Swanson's house at the time that she was having an affair with Joseph Kennedy, which that did actually happen, and she would have had plenty of money. I mean, she grew up right, I mean, basically blocks from Mack Sennett Studios, and got started with Mack Sennett and then had a big contract at Paramount and was one of the biggest actresses of her day. So no question she could have had several houses across the country, but don't know for sure if this ever was hers. Wonder if this guy's giving a boat tour making up false information too. That guy probably is the same one that came up with the story I'm going to tell you when we get back over to the Hacienda Hotel that they were telling me, that's like kind of an urban legend about Marilyn Monroe. But I do love the houses here in Newport Richey. They are beautiful. And then here's that Peace Hall that we saw. They said that they moved in 1981 over to here. It was the Our Lady Queen of Peace Catholic Church. Formerly located on Washington Street, this permanent home of the parish was dedicated on March 9th, 1919. Although Mass has been celebrated since 1913 in temporary locations by priests from St. Leo Abbey, Father Felix Ulrich was its first priest and labored here until 1932. Originally it was built facing south. The church was heavily damaged by a hurricane in 1921. Lifted the building and left it facing west and removed its belfry. Father Felix, who was praying at the time, escaped unarmed. He surveyed this structure's condition and said, well, if that's the way God wants it, we'll just have to leave it that way. The parish moved into a new building on Alamanda Drive in 1966, and this building was moved, oh no, this one was moved in 2001. Seriously, can you imagine? Can you imagine being in there praying, and then the thing gets completely lifted up, turned around, rips off the belfry, and then you say, well, yeah, let's keep it. I'd be like, this place is probably, you know, may want to start from scratch, but no. He looked at it from a positive and said, I guess this is the way God wants it. Here's the other side. I just remembered when they moved, the one they moved in 1981 was the one they turned into the museum, which is right there. So I've been seeing signs for a chalk art festival, and I think I found it. I'm seeing some chalk art hopscotch. George Jetson. Andy Warhol. Look at that big happy sun over there. That one's really good. Take a look at that. Cindy Strawberry Festival. That's great. Oh, look at that one. Little dog curled up in there. These are great.
Come now. Vote for the artist. Show them your appreciation.
He looks like he needs some sleep. Look at that. Big Strawberry Festival cupcake right here. Oh, this is great. Berry Best Buds. Berry Best Buddies. And Pokemon. Wow, look at that one. That one's huge. That's great. It's a cool little town, what we've seen of it already. This whole corner over here has some really great history. Including the bridge right behind us. Doesn't really say who any of these people are, so. But they have to be somebody. I mean, some of the faces are just so unique that it just looks like they would have been modeled after somebody. Oh, and it doesn't stop here. And you notice they have like the little production clapboard and stuff right there, hinting at the movie industry. And look at the cat up in the tree. Wow, take a look at that. That's not even an aquarium, but they painted the whole outside of it. Family Benefit Services. Man, it's one heck of a mural. All the way down to like the reef and everything. Some manatee, some stingrays, a ship that looks like it's about to have its last legs. So I told you there were all kinds of rumors about things in this town and all kinds of myths and things that nobody knows really what happened. One of them was that here at the hacienda, they claim that Marilyn Monroe was holed up with Al Capone at one time. And that's definitely a story that I don't think I would believe. But here's the official front of the hotel. Very, very historic. This is where everyone stayed. You saw it was built in 1927. This was all the movie colony people would originally stay here. So we've made it over to the house, Newport Richey. I guess actually this section is called Port Richey. And I was wrong. I thought it was her grandparents. I thought it was June's grandparents that left it to her. It's actually her parents. Pop and Maybelle Carter bought this house. Pop had been reading in magazines and different brochures about this town or this area being a really great place to retire because it had really great fishing and he loved to fish. So he bought this house in 1961, and then when they passed away, it was left to Johnny. And Johnny and June used to come here all the time. Johnny would write about it and talk about it in different articles and magazines and stuff, the time that he spent here at the house in Port Richey that June inherited. So kind of cool to see it. Literally right here on the water. They don't have any historical significant signs that anybody famous lived there, but we know. It was not a big house at all. I read that it was a bungalow, and it certainly was. Or he considered it a bungalow anyway. So not more than about a block or two right up the road is this historical site. You can see this mound right here. The sign says, this was Olsner Mound. The Indian Mound is all that remains of a late Weeden Island period community, probably settled about 1000 AD and inhabited for several hundred years. Excavations conducted in 1879 by S.T. Walker for the Smithsonian Institute indicated that this was a temple mound. A nearby burial mound, excavated in 1903 by Clarence Moore, was subsequently destroyed by developers along with other remnants of prehistoric community. This mound was preserved by its owner, the late Aunt Martha Olsner, who believed that it also contained Timucua and Calusa Indian graves. I wonder how many people come out here to visit this. That's a really fascinating piece of history, that would be all that's left of an entire community that lived on this island. I noticed somehow someone's put like a walkway going up this side. Probably before they knew the significance. You can kind of see up there the pillars that would end the path right up there. that's pretty much how I found the house. Was I read that it was near Olsner Mound. All right, my friends, I want to thank Melinda Worrell for becoming my newest Patreon. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed what we saw of Newport Richey and Port Richey today. A little bit of old movie history, or maybe. Saw Johnny Cash's house, and yeah, some really cool murals. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Have a great night, and goodbye.